get anything on counter hit? Of course it doesn't.
For those of us joining the wonderful Ultra Power show on this fine Monday, Sammy is talking about Leo moves that nobody else gives a shit about, except maybe Bloodhawk.
Yeah.
Who's not here?
Yep.
He's not here.
So
it's
you
just
are
me.
completely deaf ears.
And he's still slapping buttons.
Yep.
Like a bitch.
I can't help it.
There we go.
Fucking-
I had to move the Z face.
Jesus.
That's how you know it's a serious topic.
Yeah.
You gotta stay on brand.
I like
though.
how the Z face is still slightly overlapped. You
Hold
didn't even
on,
move all the
I'll
way.
fix it. There we go. Good catch, Paul. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
God, if only.
Well,
All right. So, what I wanted to talk about today, and what we're gonna talk about, is MVCI's amazing visuals. I should probably update all these details before I go live.
That's why we don't pay you the big bucks.
Look, man. As far as anyone's concerned, people are gonna tune in thinking I'm playing Wild Guns Reloaded, and they're gonna be in for a nice surprise, I think.
hey man, this is a IRL stream.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
We're watching this in real life.
Okay.
How?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
All right,
Isn't that
look,
how the
all
IRL
right,
thing
look,
works?
we're just gonna get right into it because I finally watched all the level 3s because I've been super curious about them. Just because a lot of the ones in MVC3 were pretty neat, and I just hadn't seen all the ones for stuff like Hulk, Spencer, who didn't have one. Like all the characters that didn't have one in MVC3 got one, right? Which is pretty neat. That's cool. I'm glad they're
Yeah.
making that effort. I just wanted to see what kind of effort they were putting forth. So let's start this up over here, Wise. Play it on the stream as well.
Let's go.
Alright, we're gonna start with Captain America. We get some cool shield kick and all that.
I like this one.
It's okay, but it's not Final Justice. Like,
No, it's not Final Justice.
I need him.
It's infinite justice.
It's unyielding. Like, he's not stopping for anything. So, I don't
Not
get.
even a bowl of cereal.
Like, I think the cool thing about Cap is that he puts you in a nice choke, and just Azuna dropped you. Like, that's missing. But you know what? I'll give
Wait,
him a
is
pass.
Captain America Ninja?
Yes, he Azuna drops you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
shit.
a ninja.
Captain America confirmed ninja.
Yeah, he's an American ninja.
2017 has been really wild.
Have
First
you-
he's a member of Hydra, now he's a ninja.
Have
I
you-
don't really know.
Have you
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Have you thought about that before? Like, the number of people that have failed the American Ninja Challenge, but Cap Am is a super soldier. He would breeze right through it. Of course he's a fucking ninja.
That's a good point.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll give Cap Ams a pass. There's nothing really bad with it. It's just not Final Justice.
I like the shield getting kicked at.
Yeah, that the lead into it is pretty neat. It's just not the actual Final Justice that's the problem. But let's go to Carol. I'm okay with it.
I like the cosmic
Yeah.
shade to her, where it almost sort of looks like Quasar or the old Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's a neat effect. I thought that was a cool
I thought
touch.
that was really cool. It's a nice comic booky.
Yeah, let's go back to that because that's right there. That's a really neat touch. The almost Kirby-esque, as it were, in its space presentation.
And I mean, especially, for you on the West Coast, it's still birthday of the king, so it's kind of nice.
There you go.
Rest in power, Jack Kirby.
Yep.
All right, so that's a neat touch. So Carol's is all right. Let's keep going. Let's see.
Oh, cool. My together tube is not updating.
No, I'm fine.
That's
I'm
great.
fine. I was just moving him around because I'm doing two things at once with it.
No, I mean, mine is straight.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Strange wraps you up, puts you balls. Pretty much the same thing from the MVC3 one. Just
Boy, his voice sucks now.
okay. So let's stop right there. I'm glad you brought that up because there's nothing really offensive with these first three level 3s. Like Caps is fine, Carol's is okay. Doctor Strange is basically a 1-to-1 copy of MVC3. The only thing that's different is that it doesn't have the audio glitch that played when you did MVC3, when you did his level 3. Because his before, you know how he has his little speech that he does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In MVC3, he's supposed to have a short little speech as well, but I think the wrong audio clip played, so every time he hits you with his level 3, he like talks shit around you in his astral form, and then just says daggers of Danak.
Yeah, it's really weird, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it is whatever.
Yeah, it's just obviously an audio fuck up, but it's cool. And you know, this one's whatever. But the VA thing, like the fact that there was a strike for voice actors, really shines in this game. Because
Oh yeah.
Carol is kind of whack. Cap is not quite all American for me.
I don't mind. You know what? I don't mind Carol that much, but I do think Cap is a little overblown. Though again, I can say Cap's not so bad, but so far the first one that's I've noticed is Doctor Strange.
All right.
Doctor Strange sounds awful.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right.
It's
So
really bad.
Strange is already kind of iffy,
So
right?
here's my question, and it's kind of a weird question, and I don't think any of us know for sure, but why couldn't they, even with the actor strike, just have used the voices from MVC3?
So that's a really interesting question that I thought of before, and I'm glad you asked that because let's watch the next one.
Okay.
It's gonna dovetail perfectly. That's fucking terrible sounding.
Yeah, we were bringing this up a while ago. I really liked his old voice of being kind of a shithead.
So
Like,
Doctor Strange voice was kind of bad, right?
Yeah.
Dormammu's is outright fucking terrible.
But people are saying they can't hear the
Oh
vid.
shit, my bad. I think I didn't crank it loud enough. Yeah. Let's go back.
yeah, Marvel 3 Dorm was so good.
Actually, did I accidentally mute this
I
in exploit?
completely agree with that.
Oh no, it should be fine now. Let me actually play the stream real quick.
Completely.
Welcome to my realm. Welcome to my realm.
There we go. That's
Something.
terrible.
And this is one of those things that, honestly, it's a timing issue. Provided that this was not a thing that they could have just relicensed the original voices, possibly because of the strike, there's nothing that Capcom could have done about this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's hard to say how the agreement came to be for the audio that was recorded for the previous game, right? Like, did they just
Yeah.
lose rights to it? And the thing that sucks the most, and Dorm is like the biggest standout in my opinion, is that the original voice actor they had for Dorm was fucking perfect.
He was awesome.
It's actually Street Fighter 4 Seth. It's the exact same voice actor.
Oh, well, that explains that.
So obviously, that guy's probably got a decent billing to him, accomplished. I'm actually going to look that up because I used to know his name. Seth, voice actor.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls off the same sort of style in both those characters, which is just like being a really shitty, arrogant person, which is awesome.
Yeah, like he's a huge piece of shit. Like that's
Yeah.
beautifully casted.
My guess is that since it's a different deal, obviously the old Marvel 3 deal with Marvel expired and then Disney bought them. I assume it has to be a different deal, so
I also assume that nowadays those contracts only last a game's length, so to make sure that those voice actors constantly. get work.
that's kind of a standard thing, but what I'm saying is that I feel like it's possible that trying to get that entire net of voice acting would have had to be going through each individual voice actor or actress again.
Yeah, and the whole thing with the strike also creates a really gray area because a lot of their demands are pretty reasonable in the way they should be compensated and the way they should have to do work. So I don't blame them for fucking striking. It just kind of sucks that this game happened to fall in that.
And yeah, and that's one of those things, we talk about basically scheduling fucking games over because stuff's not finished.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those things that it's not even about the game being finished. It's literally just that they had to make do with what they had.
Yo, this guy was fucking the voice of Nightmare and Astaroth?
Well, there you go.
And
Yeah.
Dr. Paradigm in Overture. Oh, he's Zareth in League of Legends. This guy's got
Oh, he's Zareth?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah,
No,
no,
and
he's good. He is good at fucking astral person shitty voice. Like, shitty person, arrogant ass. I don't know how to put it, but it
Magnificent
falls-
bastard is the term you're looking
Yeah,
for.
there you go.
Oh, actually, I might be incorrect. Thanks to Loveheart. I'm just gonna double check that.
Wait, if according to Loveheart in chat, Phil Lamar is Dorm's voice in MVCI? That's wild.
That makes so much sense.
They just,
What?
It's just the filter they put on is pretty bad. I can believe that because the filter they put on. the
That's
Marvel-
a pretty. I mean,
the
if
Marvel
that's
3.
true, that's a really crappy filter.
Wow, that
It
is butchered. Like,
Yeah, it could be just editing for that one. That sucked. That would suck.
the other thing that I wanted to point out with that particular level 3 is that it's also really sped up for some reason. Like, there's no sense of tension where Dorm traps you in the mud, in, like, you know, the black dark mud from his dimension. You kind of struggle for a bit. You're in a bubble, and then he kind of like mockingly holds you in place, like he would a snowball, and then crushes you. Right? There's none of that. It's just really quickly. It's just, hey, welcome to my realm.
It's the pace of how he used to say in Marvel 3. Because in the pace in Marvel 3, they used to say it was slow and it was
It's almost mocking.
calm. Yeah, exactly. It was sort of letting you sit in it while he revels in the fact that he's got you in this tiny space ball full of pressure.
Yeah, like you stepped into his house, and now he's gonna
Yeah.
fuck you up. Also, thanks for the for the correction, Loveheart. It is Michael T. Weiss. It's good to know. Like, we got to give credit where credit's due, because the Dorm voice is fucking fantastic. Like,
Mhm.
every time I got the win quote where it was like, "This planet is mine, and now you will die." Like, I was like, "Whoa, fuck, man, that's a pop off."
Yeah, Marvel
But,
3 Dorm, I think we agree for the most part. Like front to back was one of the
Was
best.
real. I mean, I think the Marvel 3 voice acting overall was really good.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's,
yeah,
there's a lot of Marvel 3's presentation that's fantastic.
Well, the big reason why they did that is because all of the Marvel voices were done by the pre-Disney cartoons. So Spectacular Spider-Man, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Wolverine and the X-Men. Those were the big three.
So you're saying it's the same voice actors?
Yeah, it was all the same voice actors from that from those three cartoons.
Okay.
And then after Disney took over, they decided, yeah, we're going to go and do our own versions, and basically wiped away everything that was good. If anybody's ever seen those cartoons before, they would know that those are vastly superior in animation, in storytelling. For example, Earth's Mightiest Heroes had an excellent Secret Invasion season, which was all of season 2, and then they decided to cancel it for a really hokey and not so great new Avengers series that was more along the lines of the movies. So
This is why we can't have nice things.
pretty much.
But we'll talk about Dorm again later, maybe. Just because, woo, that's a good
I'm
one.
trying to think about.
Because let's, Sammy, save your thinking for the brain damage that's about to come.
Poison! Let's go!
Oh, right.
Supernova!
Well, that one happened.
You can
It's-
move on.
It's
just
inoffensive. It's
It's
just not
inoffensive.
totally
It's just
fair.
it's just kind of, you know,
It's also uninspired.
it's whatever. But I think the voice acting is the part that just kind of kills it. But we've already kind of dwelled on that a bit. It's just welcome to the, here's a supernova, guys.
Why didn't you just go like Space Chris on him?
Yeah, it's
Just like fucking where Space Chris, like Chris just pulls out all of his shit and just ruins your life. Like, why didn't you just do something like that?
well, they kind of had the idea for it. There's just not a lot of impact to it.
Yeah.
And speaking of lacking impact, let's get to my number one fucking favorite.
Oh no, is that one next? Yes, it is.
Look into my eyes. Have a nice day.
That is really frustrating.
Ooh-wee. Let me clear my thoughts for a second. Just give me a moment. Like,
Alex, you and I are massive Ghost Rider fans.
Yeah, I'm.
I
Yeah.
feel.
Just give me a second. Also, Gunna-san, thank you for following. I think I got my thoughts collected. Okay.
Motherfucking shares though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
dude, can we talk about how sick the MVC3 one was, right? He does the exact same thing. He grips you, he makes you look into his eyes, you're sent through fucking hell in this like flaming tunnel of whatever the fuck. It leaves a lot to the imagination. It captures all the right things. Screen shake, there's fire, you think you're gonna die. And instead of that, we get the motherfucking share zone. Like, this is some fucking Walmart brand spooky holiday fucking light up skull bullshit that wouldn't even scare school children. Like, this is those fucking animatronic fucking skulls that light up when you walk past them and make a spooky sound, or maybe Dragula plays. This is
Ooh, Dragula.
this fucking
idea.
sucks. Like, there's no screen shake. There's no real intensity to this. I actually thought this looked better with the shittier GIF that I put on Twitter because that actually shook. This is completely still.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if your soul is being burnt out from the inside because of your horrible sins, you might be writhing in pain a bit. Give me some sort of
Nah.
perspective. You're just perfectly still.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
That's
just
me.
you're gonna no sell a
Just-
penance there.
yeah, gotta
Completely
no
no sell a penance there.
sell. Because you're hulking up.
Look, if Hulk Hogan got caught in the penance stare, he won't even feel bad about all those OT stole, brother.
See, it's like the penance stare hits him and he goes down.
Yeah.
Then Ghost Rider tries to cover him, but on
Yeah.
that 2.999, kicks out, the finger starts wagging. No sell, brother. Ghost Rider's eating the big boot and the leg drop.
Damn, Johnny Blaze taking the pin. He's doing the job.
That's right. Johnny Blaze isn't a main eventer.
Oh, come on, man. Like,
Wait, Ghost Rider's own book can't even stay in print. He's not
Look.
a main eventer.
so you're telling me Ghost Rider's a mid-carder?
At best, sir.
Wow.
At best.
Wow. Only here for Royal Rumbles and maybe the feud with the British Bulldog.
That's right. Look, Ghost Rider would at best get a shot with the Intercontinental belt. At best.
Hey, the IC
And he'd
belt's
probably
the
be
workers'
feuding
belt.
with the Punisher, another not main eventer.
Okay, look.
Those are workers.
I'm pretty sure
See, Pitchy and pals, Ghost Rider's a B+ player.
he's good talent, man. He makes other
Yeah.
people fucking seem fantastic. Like, look,
I mean, but that's all he's good for. You know, he can't sell. He's not putting asses in the seats.
look, I'm telling you, let somebody work with Ghost Rider to sell the penance stare, and he's gonna
So you want to build up the move.
You need to build up the move. Like, it's a fucking
You
fantastic
think
move.
that the move can put asses in the seats.
Exactly. I'm 100% certain that if we protect the penance stare properly, it'll get people in line. Like, imagine how many times you would have the near falls because he goes for the penance stare, but they happen to find some finagling way to get out, right? Like, they
So you're
look
saying
away.
we
or-
could sell out the Daily Bugle Dome.
Easily. Just make the penance stare mean something. He could hold the IC title for months at a time. Take it from the Punisher. Get him out of here, dude. We're done
I don't
with him
know.
fucking shooting
You know
people.
what? I'm not sold.
Oh my god. Look,
He's not big enough.
he's not big. We need a bigger Ghost Rider. Give me vengeance.
Jesus.
Hey, pal.
So it ends.
You like Ghost Rider, but you got more spikities and you're taller, and your flame is a little bit different color.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can we put some flames on Brock?
Sounds good.
All right. So let's go away from Ghost Rider. It's too emotional. I'll let that one. I'll let that one go. Let's see what's next.
Hold that thought! Fire sale! Pals! The taste of the full course! Ha! I could do this all day!
I'm fine with it.
What does that remind me of?
Boring.
No, it reminds me of Steve's fucking rage art. That's what it does.
He sounds incredibly bored.
I mean, okay, if he actually sounded bored, I'd be fine with it because it's kind of like nothing and it's Hawkeye. But it's just kind of flat. It falls flat for me. It doesn't even seem bored. It just seems like it's there.
Yeah,
Also, the animations suck. Like, I don't feel like it's interesting.
So I'll get into it a little more in some of the ones where it stands out that they did a good job, or it stands out that they did a bland job. Because we're gonna get to one that really stands out why they did a bland job. The Hawkeye one just kind of is whatever when we're coming from the really cool concept of him shooting Ant-Man at you.
So I'm about to, and I need to finish this. Unless Ant-Man ends up in this game as DLC, why they didn't recycle that makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, like if Ant-Man ends up being a playable character, then we're like, oh, okay, that's, makes sense. But if he's not, why did we go to this kind of
Whack ass boring one?
And a lot of these ideas,
They didn't even try to use specific trick arrows or interesting arrow. They didn't. There was no creativity in it.
There's one that exploded.
Dude, we could have had it's
Really
Hawkeye.
a
We
lot.
could have had him hit him with a punching glove arrow, a boomerang arrow, a USB arrow. He
Yeah,
could
I
have
was
stolen
about
that.
to say.
He could have
Really?
stolen. I love it.
Wither the HDMI.
Dude, the USB arrow would fuck him up so bad. Like, imagine if you shot Ultron with the USB arrow and just uploaded Winamp or some shit. You hit him with your mixtape.
Oh my
Square
god.
in the ass.
Just shoot the USB arrow at Ultron, and it just hits him with those porn auto dialers.
Oh, dude.
I was gonna say a Bonzi buddy, but okay.
All
Why
of a
is your
sudden-
mixtape in FLAC?
All of a sudden, Ultron's just walking around going, "Hey, everybody, I'm looking at gay porno for the next 25 hours."
Fucking GMK goat. You can't choose the USB arrow. It would never go in the first time.
That's good.
Yeah.
As an IT professional, I know that life.
What if it's USB-C though?
Look, man, nobody even knows what that is.
I agree.
That's Ultron. I mean, he might have one.
Oh,
port.
he's that advanced?
Yeah.
You're
Shit.
thinking Marvel spent the big money on Ultron?
USB 3.1.
Damn.
I'm ready.
Damn.
I
So-
mean, if
I don't
Hank
even know
Pym
what
can
that is.
create
It's
his
so
own
far.
dimensions, he could have USB-C in one of those fucking ports.
Okay, well, I'll let that rock. But the Hawkeyes is kind of whatever. Let's go to our
it's just whatever.
let's go to our buddy, the big green giant.
I will be honest. I did
What
not
the
know
fuck
it
was
on
that?
It wasn't a level. I didn't know it was a level 3 until they.
Could you replay
Finish.
that? Actually,
That shouldn't be a level 3. That sounded like Fred Taskcore, so it doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's the same Hulk.
Yeah, it's Fred Taskcore.
Okay, 112.
He does have power geyser.
All right, let's play it again.
Gamma Spike? Is that what he said?
Gamma Quake.
Yeah.
Gamma
Gamma
Quake.
Quake.
I'm
Power
pretty sure.
geyser.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just Gamma Quake. Yeah, it's just triple geyser.
It's
Yeah.
boring as fuck. I mean, his voice is fine, but the super what?
Yeah, that shouldn't be
Why
a level
wouldn't
3.
you just make Gamma Crush his level 3? He grabs a fucking meteor from space.
Yeah, can we talk about how weak this feels compared to the other things Hulk does in the other games? So what does he have for level 1 supers in MVC3? He punches the
rips
ground
up
so
the
hard.
ground.
Yeah, he rips up the ground so hard that it creates a shockwave of just dirt that flies at you. He punches the ground so hard that rocks fall from the sky. Like, who the fuck knows where those rocks were coming from? But they are now falling from the sky. And he just pulls a fucking meteor from space and crushes you with it. He casually jumped out of our atmosphere.
Like, you could have easily just made Gamma Crush into... Like, you could have illustrated it a little bit. You could have done a little CGI thing where he just jumps into the freaking solar system or whatever and grabs a passing meteor and jumps down.
Like, I don't get how for comic book games we have Injustice where characters are just leaving our airspace casually over and over again.
It's true.
But we got Hulk just doing triple geyser, and you can't even see him in the frame of the screen. Like, the screen doesn't pan out or anything. It's just, why? Deuce, you know what I was actually expecting? I was thinking that after the third launch, it was going to go to like a cinematic thing, and he's just going to, it's going to be like Brian Fury's Tekken 3 ending, where he just fucking throws a tank at you.
You know what's a good point is that the level 3s in MVC3 all kind of hit this. They had a cinematic feel to them, and while some of these level 3s have it, some of the new ones don't as much. Like the Hulk's here doesn't at all.
Mhm.
There's like no cinematic feel to it. And that's weird because most of the other ones we've seen so far did. They had a pretty significant.
So the ones we've been okay with so far were Cap Am, right? Passable.
Yeah.
Carol's passable as well, right? They're except like nothing's really outright bland or stupid or horrible about them. The thing that I want to point out that they did pretty well in those is the angles are interesting, the zoom effects are pretty good, and there's a decent amount of screen shake when effects warrant there being screen shake, right? The ones that are bad have nothing going on in them. Like Hawkeye's doesn't have the sort of dramatic effect of, you know, each arrow meaning something and being something unique. It's just he's throwing you into a bunch of arrows. It's like he just hit all of his special moves on you at once. It's like he did a Rambo super, but it's all projectiles. Fucking Hulk sucks. Like, it just sucks.
Crap.
Unless we're missing something, unless, like, you know, that super's supposed to hit a certain way and it wasn't done correctly, then that just actually sucks.
I can't wait for Hulk to get Trinity Geyser, honestly.
Wow. No, give Hulk oh my shit geyser.
Just give him fucking Rising Tackle on.
Yeah, just make Hulk Terry Bogard with the fucking gamma radiation.
Fucking green Terry Bogard. Can I get Wild Wolf Hulk though?
Oh
Just give
damn,
him a
Wild Wolf Hulk
jacket.
with the jacket?
Yeah.
Get
Yo,
Sidious.
give Hulk Fane cancel.
Yo, Buster Gamma Buster Wolf? Like,
No, you need Hulk does shoulder, Fane cancel, shoulder, Fane cancel. Oh my shit,
God.
guys.
He's gonna have the power of wolves and radiation. It's gonna be too strong.
unstoppable. It's unstoppable. But the one thing I wanted to point out about some of the stuff that really worked well in MVC3 that just doesn't translate is dramatic pauses and screen shake. We're going to get to a couple where that really, really fucking stands out. Just keep that in mind. So let's go to the next one. Where are we at? Iron Man?
On my power inhibitor, Iron Avenger! Get ready, here's my special!
Basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Just like I mentioned before, it doesn't quite have the emphasis because the old one zoomed in pretty interestingly. Like, you had the intensity of being stuck in that unibeam, like, you know, the no limit unibeam.
It's weird that he says, "Here's my special." I'm like, nobody could come up with anything like wittier or.
We couldn't have come up with the Sunday Best.
Yeah, I mean, at least that would have been a send up of the old games. Again, like, it's fine. I'm just kind of like, who wrote this dialogue?
Yeah, it's just not very Tony-esque.
No, it's
Like,
kinda whack.
they could. Isn't this Disney? Couldn't we have just had fucking like AC/DC playing in the background or something? I'm sure they could get the rights to it. Just like fucking, you know, no voiceover from Captain America. Just as soon, or I mean, fucking Captain America from Iron Man. But as soon as he hits you, just Back in Black just starts
Captain
playing.
Iron Man.
Captain American, the Iron Patriot.
Wow, different character.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn.
Captain Man.
Hey! He was an alternate costume in 3.
Norman Osborn.
Iron American.
Iron American, yes. Yeah, but you know, just have Back in Black playing. Let's go to the let's. I forgot who's next. These are in alphabetical.
You ready?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, the dialogue's a little bit cheesy, but it's cool.
It's
Like,
basically it's like the
they
one
fu-
time the character makes sense to be cheesy because it's fucking
Yeah,
old, it's all
exactly.
Dick
Yeah,
Ryder.
It's Richard.
It's
yeah.
all Dick Ryder. Come on, man. Like,
And I mean, it's just the logical extension of Human Rocket, and it's what Nova does.
Yeah.
He just runs at things.
he just hits things.
I
Yeah.
kind of wish the way that Nova hit the character was a little bit different, but I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that one's one of the ones that passes. Like, you know,
Yeah, I'm down with it.
and Dick Ryder can be corny. I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Richie, you're okay.
Richie's a good guy.
Let's see what's next.
All right, let's do it. Get out of the fucking way. And here's Rocket. Ain't no thing like me except me.
I hate this one.
I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one, John.
Oh my god, where do we go? At first I was like, does he say get out of the fucking way? Because that really kind of threw me for a second
Same.
in this type of game. But just it's really lazy. I know what they're trying to do with the whole movie. I miss the Cockney accent from the cartoon and from the first game because it gave Rocket much more personality. But the whole fourth wall breaking and it's corny and it's dumb and it's not Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon is a very tortured soul that just basically breaks out black humor in order to make himself feel slightly better. This is just dumb, like almost Deadpool like fourth wall jokes that just don't fit with the character at all. That and just the way that they've reanimated him to his design looks more like a real raccoon. It just looks even worse. Oh god.
What does he actually say?
I have no idea what exactly what he says in that one little instance. But
Wait, at the beginning or at
At the
end?
very end, what?
Oh, there's
what
no
does
one.
Rocket say?
There's no one like me but me, or something stupid along those lines.
yeah,
This actually starts something that I started disliking with a lot of them, which is the characters still talk after the cinematic's over, but mouths don't move, and it's just a little thing. I
No,
don't know,
it's
it
annoying.
just
Yeah.
pulls me out.
I don't mind Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians movies. I know, that's not necessarily the canonical comic Raccoon. I'm fine with it. I still feel like he comes off a little flat in this game. And that's not to say that the voice acting is necessarily bad. It's just I feel like what they've written for him isn't anywhere near as pithy as what they're, obviously what was written for Bradley Cooper in the movies.
Well, I
Like-
guess according to Loveheart, that's actually a line from one of the movies.
Well, it's not read as well.
It also seems like it's a little shoehorned in.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, it probably made sense. I couldn't actually tell you where in either of the movies after seeing them both that's from, but it doesn't really work in this context.
Also, the setup on its own isn't as great. Like, I actually kind of like the military cartooniness of his original one, where he dropped, plants you into the ground and then drops a huge comical bomb on you.
Yeah.
I thought it worked well. The shoehorning of Groot is just.
You know what? I don't mind the Groot. I think it actually would have worked a lot better if they used that quote and then actually it had gotten followed up by Groot being like, I am Groot, or something like that.
yeah.
And then he'd just be like, yeah, that too.
I mean,
Or something like if you actually act like they're both characters, but Groot comes off like he's just an object there, it doesn't. The point of Groot is that what makes Groot funny is that there's interplay with Groot and Rocket. And
Yeah.
Rocket's the only person who can understand Groot most of the time. When you just make Groot a thing that is there to hit people, Groot's not funny anymore. Groot's not interesting.
yeah.
And it actually detracts from Rocket as well.
And another thing is, this is a complaint I mentioned before we started, is a lot of these supers is basically hit the guy with your fist 3 or 4 times and then like a big beam or a big rocket or something like that. It's
That's true.
like every single one of these is always just like punch, 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 shoot a big beam and say something stupid. And it's like, show some uniqueness to it. Like the last game had significant level 3s. There were a lot of different things. You had a fucking car coming up and She-Hulk picking up the car and slamming it and stuff like that. It just feels like there's just a lot of retreading in this game at all, and it's not that great for level 3s. Level 3s should be something special, not like everybody else's version of the same thing.
Let's see what's
Also,
next. Oh, go ahead,
the-
Sammy.
This might be small, but the gun isn't big enough.
I agree. I fully agree.
For a level 3 for Rocket, gun's not big enough. The gun
Gun-
he had for a level 1 in Marvel 3 was bigger than that.
I'm gonna need a gun that has guns.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
actually does. It needs to have more shit on it.
All right, let's see what's next.
Finish this Spidey style. That's it. Huh? Spider sense going off. Something's coming. Robbie, crashing someone else's battle is just bad.
So I actually like that one, like a decent amount.
That's probably the best one they have, actually, to be quite honest, because it does everything. It does its own thing. It has inner monologues of the character. It feels like the character. It's a playful, like a good voice acting ability, and it's a little different. I mean, yes, it's still punch, 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 hit with explosion, but it actually makes sense for that character.
I don't like it just because fucking Goblin throws shit, and where the fuck is Goblin in this whole
Yeah,
thing?
that's
Like,
that's the one legitimate complaint I think. There should be something, right? Like maybe just like the smoke trail, or maybe like the bottom view of like his glider. Give us something so we know who's throwing it, right? You
Yeah,
know,
just
give me
anything.
like a creepy ass gigantic Willem Dafoe face. Like how fucking sick would that be?
Well, now, and you know, guys, you got to wait a little bit because they're going to give it to you in the second DLC package or something.
Oh, we're gonna give freaky William Dafoe? Like, hold on. Like, let me improve this level 3 again. Let's go back a bit. So, let's see. All right, here we have the pumpkins, right? Like, imagine how much better this would be if we added a really creepy face. Like, just to bring the point home.
Or just some fucking laughing or some shit.
Yeah, like something to let us know it was, yeah, old boy done did it. Look at that.
I'll be honest, the first time I saw this, I was literally just like, what the fuck is happening? And then I had to like watch it again and be like, oh, he's supposed to be dodging pumpkins from Green Goblin. Why?
Because it was in one of the movies.
Yeah.
The one thing
But not the movie that's part of the MCU.
So the reason I actually like this is because there's a lot of...
That's creepy, Meow. Can you like take that off the
No,
screen?
I'm leaving that until we're moving away from the Spider-Man one.
Oh, man, come on, dude.
Look at it. Look at him. Look. He's like over there. He's like, yeah, these pumpkin bombs will hit Spidey. Like,
Jesus.
yeah. But the reason I like that super is the pacing of it. Like, there's a slowdown. There's the emphasis on each of the individual hits. It's a little different from all the other ones in this. It has these unique camera angles when the bombs are coming through. So the presentation is great. The idea is a little sketch in that we don't get to see who throws it. So some people that, might not be the most intense Marvel fans might be kind of lost. So that's already kind of bad storytelling there. And like you said, it seems out of place when you take into consideration that it's not part of the modern Marvel, universe that they have. It's out of place in that sense. God, that creepy face. I'm just gonna leave that there. Like, I can't stop staring at it.
And it's weirder because I want to say, I can't say this for sure because I don't remember all of them. I want to say it's the only level 3 in the game that deals with a character that's outside the game.
So far, yeah.
And it doesn't even show said outside character. Like, when you go to Hawkeye's in UMVC3, Ant-Man shows up. You know what's going on. So
You already know what it is.
This super actually, and don't get me wrong, I think everybody knows once you've seen it, yeah, okay, Green Goblin. But this assumes that viewers know exactly why Spider-Man is dodging pumpkin bombs. And I think assuming the viewer knows anything is always kind of stupid.
And like we mentioned, there's an easy way to sell this one a bit better. Just like have a quick pause or a camera angle that shows the Green Goblin flying around somewhere for a moment,
Yeah,
right?
that's all you had to do.
Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe I'm not an intense, Marvel fan and I don't know Spidey or I've never watched any of the movies. As far as I know, Spider-Man is apparently cursed from time immemorial to have pumpkin bombs thrown at him just randomly.
With bat wings.
Just bat wings. It just happens. He goes to take a dump, boom, pumpkin bombs through the fucking window, spooking the shit out of him. Just fucking literally, just actual spooky shit.
So, I think it sucks.
I'll concede in that it's a bad idea that's well executed, which is like the reverse of some of these other ones.
That's fair. That's actually really
Yeah.
fair.
All right, so what was? Let's see where we are with the next one. And we'll just play Spidey out again.
Crashing
Ah,
someone
yeah,
else's
sure.
battle is just bad form.
The galaxy is mine! Taste an eternity of pain! Cosmic fall! Danger!
Okay, that was Thanos.
Yep.
Yep. Couple punches and an explosion.
Yeah,
Literally the exact same one as Hawkeye's.
You can't even bring death in. Like,
Yeah.
Thanos revolves around his love of death. You can't even. Really?
Yeah.
Does that mean that death is actually not going to be part of Infinity Gauntlet in the movies? Because I'm actually going to be tight about that.
but what about Punch level 3?
I mean, bring in Nebula. I mean, just something.
God, hey.
Look. Yeah. I'm going to be really tight if like his reason for wanting the gems is to rule the universe or some stupid shit like that.
Of course, it's to rule the universe. What else is there?
His entire goal
He
is to
wanted
fucking kill everything.
everything so that he could impress death.
Yeah, but
That's
then
not
you-
the same.
Yeah, but he wants to control the listen to how that sounds. Control the universe. I imagine just bad
Somebody's
guys
not
get
rating
off on that
Taskmaster and Black Ant right now. I mean, I'm just saying.
shit. 100% him.
I'm not reading Marvel Comics right now because of fucking Secret Empire, so that
Yeah.
ain't happening.
Okay, look, Sammy, you don't get it. This character's motivation is that he's hard up for a girl who also happens to be death.
I would be too. I understand.
And it's like think about it, dude. Thanos is like the #1 high school student character in this game. Like, you're in high school, you're really attracted to some fucking rich snobby girl or something. You try to think, man, I gotta get a job or a nice car to impress her, right? Thanos
Yeah.
is the same idea. He's attracted to death. What's the way you're gonna get into her pants? She don't give a shit about your nice car or your fucking how much money you make. But what about the number of fucking dead corpses? Millions, billions of universes extinguished. That
Man, is
might
this
get her
how
to
we
look
got-
your way.
Is this how we got the script for Death Note?
We're not fucking talking about that.
Jesus.
You
What-
did that to yourself.
I know I
bring
did
this
that to
evil on me.
myself.
Don't bring this evil on me. I didn't watch the anime. I don't want to know about the live action. Just keep it to yourself.
We're not talking about that shit. Willem Dafoe is gonna stay on the screen as a reminder that we are not talking about that. All right, we're gonna go back to Thanos.
Yeah.
Just trying
What's even better about your earlier allegory to fucking high school? She actually loves the biggest scrub in the school in Deadpool. Like, she's in love with Deadpool because Deadpool is immortal. So meanwhile, the top student can't get Death. Death is still in love with this fucking schlub that just falls backwards into everything. Like, that's the best part of the whole comic.
Yeah, dude. See, now you understand Thanos' motivations, dude. What his entire game plan is to extinguish as much life in the universe as possible. Take a picture of it, just have like an exploding galaxy behind him while he's taking a selfie. Send it to Death, slip into those DMs and just be like, "Billions dead. What you doing?"
Trying to put that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Man, American shonens are not the
Yeah.
same as Japanese ones.
He's sending her a snap of it.
Hashtag everything's dead. Hashtag
Heart.
heart, stacks money.
Babe, come over. I killed everything.
Nobody's home, literally.
I wanted to point out how this seems to be like the placeholder for like the Magneto super, where instead of the super being like just a show of Thanos is like either just his raw power or like his control over energy, we got this mishmash that just kind of falls into the same format that they've done each time, which is punch punch thing. And I would have been cool with either one. Like he's supposed to be a Titan, just let him beat the shit out of you, or let him just go off like Magneto did, where he just crushes you in sheer gravity.
I mean, didn't he have like 6 supers in the original Versus series?
But they
You
were
could
all
have
kind of
picked one
tied.
of them?
They were
Yeah, they were all
kind
tied to the gems.
Yeah, like each one of them was related to the gem. It was power was the big ball, reality
Yeah.
was the crushing wall, soul was the laser beam that sucked your life out, space was the well of rocks, and I think that's it actually.
Hmm.
That would have been a cool thing to put in this game.
Yeah,
Is that all of them?
yeah, because I think he only had 4.
That sounds right.
And the other thing is that visually this character doesn't have a lot going on for him compared to like the one that we're used to. Like there's not the bubble thing, there's not anything from like his boss mode where he's like ripping the ground and throwing rocks at you or random effects. He's kind of whatever in this. It's just kind of worrying to me about what we're going to get in terms of movie Thanos. But that's a whole nother matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Dafoe doesn't approve of that. Let's just keep going. Let's see. What's the next one?
Power shall smite me! I shall fell like this! Go, Mjolnir! Final blow!
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it. It's it's got a decent setup. It's Shadow the Earth from Blanca.
It didn't need to have so many freaking random punches before the big electricity,
It's
but
punch hammer thing, but it's
when you
Thor,
get to the
so-
thing, it's fine.
Yeah,
So I can accept it.
it's Thor. It's fine. Yeah, sure.
I like it.
I'm okay with it.
We'll let that one go.
Electricity is cool.
This Kai player.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's next.
Slumber!
And his voice is fine.
Die, die, die!
Okay. I am mostly okay with this one, except for the very last part where he just gets shot with like 9 lasers and then just casually flips out.
So this one's a neat idea that seems to fall on its execution. The one thing that kind of bugs me is the die in the middle. Like, why is Ultron now suddenly Iori Yagami? Like, why is he an edgelord?
Well, Super Skull said the same thing in the last game.
Yeah, but he was also a maniac.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Well,
kind of
mean,
there's a decent. So the reason it bugs me is that there's that weird pause before he zaps you, right? I almost feel like there's supposed to be a monologue there that we don't get. So I'm hoping that there's different voice sets, and maybe there's one where we get a die one, and then there's another one where he kind of pops off a little longer, and the super, kind of feels better. But this one's just kind of.
the thing that really kind of annoys me is it's 3 separate things. Like the first part is Bison's super from Street Fighter V. The second part looks like Ragnarok for Strider's Ragnarok, and then you get this weird laser thing. So they don't come together very well. It's like 3 separate ideas that don't really form a good, solid, cohesive super. Like each piece works, but not together.
Yeah, I feel it could just be crafted a bit better, and they can kind of make it work. Like each of the individual things doesn't seem to have like a lot of impact to them, or a lot of focus given to them. It just kind of jumps between ideas. I also feel like a lot of level 3s are kind of like run through them, like that you run through them really quickly. Like it's very rushed feeling. Oh, and some people are saying that there are in fact different voice lines for some supers. Like some people pointed out, the Gamaniac, noting that there's a couple different voice lines for Gamora's alone. So hopefully there's something that doesn't sound as silly for the Ultron one. It just happens to be the footage we're watching has that one. So let's see what's on the next one. And for the people wondering, Paul's internet died again because he lives in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. Oh, now we're on the Capcom side. This will be fun.
For the princess! Fire
Yeah. Mostly the same. I like
It's
it.
Same.
It's mostly the same, but it doesn't feel as overwhelming as the one in MVC3 because it doesn't fill up the entire screen. Like, the cool thing about the MVC3 one is that you can almost use it as a mix-up if you did the Dragon Magic into X Factor, because they couldn't see what the fuck you were doing.
Oh, it was also just a good, like, oh, you did anything anywhere on the screen. Boom.
It was the Phoenix Killer. It was F Champ's
Yeah.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, because you just
He
as
got
soon as you
caught
saw
with
her
that
do
shit so
anything-
many times.
Yeah.
It fills the screen with shit. And even when you did block it, Arthur got to, X Factor and then go high-low. So good luck, because you couldn't see shit. But, maybe they did it on purpose to where they don't want the screen filled with gigantic red and black explosions, but...
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Plus, the dragons and stuff itself look pretty good.
It would have been
so-
cool
They-
if there was like a cinematic with the dragon coming out and then going into it.
I
That would've been-
just feel it's a little underwhelming in that none of the pieces get a lot of attention, and that the camera angle's kind of weird. Like, it doesn't pull back to show you, like, oh, this is this huge, massive dragon that's coming out and, like, engulfing the screen in flames. Like, it's just, there's a dragon. It's kind of going in and out. It's doing things.
Blue dragon.
So we're going to get to the one that fucking set me off, besides the Ghost Rider one.
Yeah.
Let's go to our good buddy Christopher Redfield.
Oh yeah. Man, pulling triggers is fucking nothing when it's you just shooting rockets out of.
What
Fucking
the
what is
fuck
that?
was that?
He's Chris Redfield. When you're that muscly, you can just fucking shoot rockets at will.
No. Do you understand how incorrect you are? He's
He's
not
so
shooting.
right.
He's not shooting rockets. Sammy. He's
What?
supposed to be shooting an orbital laser.
Yeah.
That's a targeting system that he has on his shoulder. He's not shooting rockets at you. He is targeting you and shooting a fucking cannon from space that can rip through a boat without a second thought. That's what's supposed to be depicted right now.
That was his.
Do you understand how much that super failed to convey anything that you actually completely mistook what it was trying to show you?
Yeah, well, I mean, fucking, that's what it's supposed to look like. He's shooting.
No.
these
In
giant
Marvel
fucking
3,
things.
each blast had impact. Like
Yeah.
there was a small wind up, a big explosion, and then a small delay. So you couldn't just like while those off like they did in this game. I'm assuming they're doing it for function, but it takes the impact, the punch
Function.
away from level 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
exactly. That's
So
that's what
hold
it
on
is.
a second. This is the one that I have to find the original because the difference is night and day.
Yeah.
Here it is. So
Yeah, brings a good point. Well, I'll say it as soon as we go through the old one.
the Bring the Pain.
Yeah, that was just fucking like.
Yeah, the audio is also terrible, and
Chris put some oomph into that.
he puts his back into it. Oh, the other thing, the startup also bugs me a lot because he's out of the frame for whatever reason. Like for a decent amount of time, like he just shrinks and you have no idea what's going on.
Keep your music playing.
What the fuck are these
Even-
ads? So let's watch Chris and MVC3.
Oh my god, there's a frame where he's just not in the thing.
Yeah, so let's go to his level 3 in this game. All right. So here's the startup to it. He shrinks immediately back into the frame. Here's the targeting system. We get this unique, interesting camera angle where like the background or the character just becomes kind of part of the background because they get colored over in the super background. Cool camera angle. You immediately understand what's going on. He has a targeting system because you see the laser coming out of the fucking thing on his shoulder, right? You can tell this is not a rocket launcher.
Yes.
And then you get the pause in between each of the hits, and let's turn the audio on this because that's important.
Bring the pain! Bring the pain! Bring the pain!
So what does that do right? Each single instance has screen shake. Each instance also has that sonar sound letting you know that you've kind of like locked onto a target. And you also have the bring the pain voice line that's being played each time that, you know, puts a little more emphasis into each shot. I didn't even fucking tell in the MVCI one that he even shot 3 times. I actually just thought it was one big laser blast, but it turns out he's just mashing it the whole time. Like, let's watch it again.
Fire! Engage! Overheat down!
So he has different voice lines for each one, but holy crap, there's nothing to it. There's a fucking space station or some shit posted up in the sky that's supposed to be just ripping through Earth, killing whatever Chris is targeting, and we can't even get the fucking screen to shake? Like, what happened, Chris? Could you not pay for the good satellite? Could you not get DirecTV? I don't even feel like this fucking space laser gets like the sports package. Like, he just has basic cable. Like,
This is actually, you and I talk about this a lot because I'm also like a huge aficionado of screen shake. I think it puts a lot of really good oomph in a lot of moves, and I think that's why 13, a lot of their moves look really fucking good. KOF 13, sorry. Because the moves had like some really strong screen shake, and that was most of my problem with a lot of the moves 14 was that the screen shake didn't feel like it was all there. And my same thing or a problem with Street Fighter 5. A lot of the moves don't have screen shake, and that's why like Zangief's jumping headbutt and Colleen's, I think it was like Stand Fierce, both have like some really violent screen shake, and it makes me feel the oomph of those moves, and I really enjoy those moves.
yeah, that's
Specifically.
something I feel was completely missed on this Super more than any other. Because for the ones that are like carbon copies from the MVC3 versions, it feels like they studied what they looked at, but they didn't quite study what made it come together, right? I obviously pointed out what's good about Chris in the MVC3 one, right? You have the link established, which Yaya pointed out. Like, that gives you an idea that this is not a rocket launcher he's pulling out. He's pulling out a targeting system. You get that few frames of him having that shifted camera angle so it looks like you're playing RE5 for a moment, and you know the background's kind of faded out, you can see the enemy in the background, and you kind of tell you now have to target him with this laser. You get the sonar sound effect, you get each blast being accompanied by a bring the pain. Each blast shakes the screen, each blast looks immense in each individual hit, and the pace in between the hits too is also really great because you can tell they're so impactful that they're just being floored by each one, right? That you just get to like dick around a bit before you target the next one. This fails on every fucking front. It's like they realized what they had to do to copy it and then not show their work. Like, that's just asking the
Yeah.
fuck up. It's just like, how do you have a satellite laser system that just can't even shake the screen a bit? Just give me a little bit. You know, just let me know you paid for the extra plan. Like, you know, get HBO, hit him with the Game of Thrones. Like, look, man, I'm hitting you with spoilers right now. No, it's not happening. You just have fucking Strider over there just straight chilling. Let's see. What's the next one?
Super!
I'll finish it!
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate this one.
It's boring.
It's not that it's boring, it's that they, again, didn't catch what made the one in MVC3 work. So, it's pretty much the exact same one as MVC3, right? But there's no freeze on the final hit. There's no real build-up to the last hit before she does the mountain kick. Like, in the... This is another one I have to bring up the original. Because it just, again, stands out way too much where they fucked up. Also, thanks to anyone that ever took the time to just, like, upload everybody's supers in a fighting game.
Yeah, right.
You're a hero. Alright, found it. There we go. Okay, so I found the video. Let's get this in there.
Music to keep.
Stupid ads. All right. So here's MVC3 chart. Should be right there.
行くわよ
I like that one a lot. There's a fantastic pause and a cool sound effect right before the last hit. You have all the little cool flare effects like the cherry blossoms and the pink slashes everywhere. They really give Chun-Li like a character identity. And that's all kind of missing. You also don't have the like immense crater that's created with like the sheer power of her last kick. Like in the MVCI one, let's go back a bit.
I'll finish this! Ah! Shiji-san!
Yeah, so it does have a little bit of the flourish there with the highlight on her leg glowing pink for a second, but it doesn't have the sound effect. The colors aren't as intense, and the entire time that she's doing the spinning bird in the air, or actually the Alpha 2 upkick move that she had, I forget her name. It's just the one color. Like there's no visual flair to it that just gives it intensity more than any other move that she has in her roster, right? Like it's just bland. And again, I think it doesn't have that much screen shake on the last hit. Let's look back.
No, not really. In fact, it looks like if you really look at that last frame.
Yeah, it's just completely stiff.
Yeah, that last frame, it feels like she just kind of flops her leg on top of you. Yeah, like she kicks you on the way to the floor, but like, look at even the way that Ryu falls to the ground, like after he gets hit. Like just that frame of him just being like dead, like fucking, like he's in a coffin, just on the floor. That's the thing that really, really bugged me, is that this character got floored by a kick from the strongest woman in the world. And he's just like, oh, well, rest in peace. Just fucking put my hands right next to my hips. And...
Let me sell this move hellas, right? Just fucking, yeah, I'm dead, guys.
Oof, my bones.
Oof, ow, oof, ouch. My only weakness. Incredibly strong women. Let's go back to this one real quick, just because let's watch it at half speed. So, get out of here, Chris. Let's see.
I'll finish this!
Oh, that's a horrifying sound.
Ah! Shiji-san!
Yeah, you have Ryu over there no selling this move. Like he's not even shaking or anything. Like
you just fucking
it's like cool. Yeah, you just flopped on me. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. Like, actually, I feel like with the extra dramatic pause from the slowdown, it was a bit better.
Yeah.
Can we send our idea to Capcom right now? It's like, hey, before you get this game to go gold, can you run your level 3s to the YouTube half speed filter? Man, Ryu just does not give a fuck about getting flattened.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's go to the 255. Play.
You're finished! Here's the finale! Still want to fight?
I mean,
It's the same one as last time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's the exact same one. The only difference is I actually sat down and stared at that one for a while. And the only real thing that I found that was different is the number of effects, like speed lines and things like that happen during it, is way less. So for the very last blow where you're like impaled on Rebellion, he has you on the sword, he has you on Rebellion, and then he blows you away with sheer energy, right? That has like a ton of effects showing you that like you're being blasted towards a wall. This just, again, they copied the same idea but then didn't quite sit down and saw the pieces that made it that much better. So let's get to Firebrands.
I actually like that one a
So
lot.
I actually like that one too, and it's just because it's a gigantic rock bottom,
And it's different. It's
It-
significantly different.
and it does. I think it does a few things right. So let's go back and watch it in slightly slower. Let's watch it at 75. So okay, so you have the setup to it, grabs you. You have this cool angle. Like you get a sense of speed here. Like as soon as you get the camera shift going from the up view to this like looking up angle, you get a cool view. You're gonna get expressive character faces, I hope. Jesus, imagine having the old Chun-Li face on this super. Like,
oh boy.
how terrible would that be? Like, it would have just looked like that. Like, fucking. That's how having the old Chun-Li face would have looked like, in my opinion. But we're gonna get.
Alex.
Yeah.
Come on. move the Willem Dafoe face for a second.
Okay.
What's like the one thing I complain about almost more than anything about 5, which is a game, by the way, that I enjoy, and I like the game, and I've put a lot of time into it.
Kai's not in it?
No, what's the actual one thing I complain about all the time in that game?
I'm only thinking about Kai jokes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same. Sorry.
It's mostly the clipping.
Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah. You really.
I-
Oh no! Why did you point that out?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Yep.
Well,
No. Why did you point that
you
out?
just ruined
Let's
it
hope
for
it's
us.
just Hagar. Let's just say that.
No. Why? Why did you point that out?
Let's just hope Hagar is just fucking so muscly that he actually had to stick his hand through him in order to take him to the floor.
You know, the thing is that Hagar is just one of the big characters in this game.
Yeah.
Like, how's this gonna look for against Nemesis, Thanos, or Hulk? Like, oh man, just have Firebrand just stab his hand right through them. But let's get back to watching it. Why did you point that out, you son of a bitch?
Because if I have to deal with it, you do too.
Thank you. I appreciate sharing your
That's what
suffering.
that's what friends do.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
Well, let's watch it at full speed. Maybe it's fast enough where we don't even see it.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't noticed that until right now. But now watching it in slow speed, like his hand is gigantic right there. Also, these character eyes right here are bugging me out. Just like you have a Hagar. He's seen some shit, man. I've been a mayor for 25 years, and I've never had a demon rock bottom me into my own pavement. Like, whew.
Yeah.
Let's go through the end of it. So you get the sense of speed, which is cool. You get this impact, and you get this unique camera angle where you get the width, like the entire width of the stage as the impact happens.
Mhm.
So you see like how high they pop up, like how powerful that blow to the ground was that they just bounce off of it.
It's a nice vanishing point effect.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah.
Let's watch it again in full speed. Get out of here, Dante. I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of the
no.
better ones. Yeah,
Pretty good.
you get a good sense of the power that Firebrand has and how he dunks you. So let's get to.
This'll make a nice shot.
Mr. Frank West.
Okay,
In my opinion, this is probably the best level 3 in the game right now.
looking good. Now,
It's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's some jackassery, you know, it harkens back to the Dead Rising games, like it works well.
The best part about this, I don't think anybody notices, is that no matter what level he is, after doing the level 3, he's instantly level 5.
Yeah, which is a cool mechanic. Like, I think that might end up being busted, but it's neat. Um, you got the whole selfie thing with the zombie. The only thing I wasn't a big fan of is that I think like all three of the zombies in the background, or you have the two zombies that are exactly the same. Like, oh no, you have two sets of zombies that are exactly the same. Like somehow Frank West managed to find these like paternal twins.
Nah, man, they just all shopped at the Gap.
It's like, the zombie apocalypse happened, but I happened to be at the twin store. Like,
A zombie apocalypse happened, but fucking it happened while I was at Forever 21, so I might as well get this jacket while I'm at it.
yeah, yeah, just they all shop at the same store and have the same facial hair.
Yeah. They're chic, man. They're in style. Just because you're a zombie doesn't mean you don't know the fucking latest trends.
I mean, you're right. Like, nothing says latest trends like a beige shirt tucked into beige khaki.
Listen, man, if you're not gonna get it, I can't fight you.
I'm all about these green jackets on these jeans. Like, I'm more feeling this style. I don't know if I feel I'm with the trucker hat, but I'll let it rock. I'm not gonna judge too harshly on that end. What's the next one? Let's see.
Give him hell. Looking good. Now splat.
Astonished! My blood's boiling! Muscle! Make way for the mayor! Out of here! Cool.
So the Hagar one is okay. But the biggest problem I have with it is that it's lacking a few things that the MVC3 one did. It's obviously a little different because it's not exactly one-to-one. I like the front flip power bomb.
Me too.
Like, the front flip pile driver is pretty sick. The one thing I think it's missing is that it doesn't have those frames before the final impact, before the pile driver hits, that you get the sense of speed, right? Like, you had Hagar dropping you, and then you got the multiple camera angles before the last impact, and we don't have the glowing eye thing that they made his gimmick in MVC3. Like, whenever you fully mashed his punch super, or when you hit his level 3, you had like his eyes shine. Like, I thought that was a really cool touch for Hagar, and it's just missing entirely.
That's one of those things I can believe that they completely forgot about.
Yeah, again, I'm telling you, they studied it, knew what they needed to copy, and then just, I guess, either didn't have time for the details or didn't care. But the repeating impacts, I think, would have made that level 3 probably be one of the better ones in the game. Like, give me the shine. Give me those red shadows that showed up in Hagar supers in MVC3. Like, I thought that was a really cool touch for the character.
Yeah.
And give me the repeating impacts before the pile driver hits. That would have been great. But not bad.
Every path has its end. The contract is complete.
This is fine.
Jedda's
As
is-
somebody
Oh, go ahead.
who used to play Vampire Savior, this is Jedda's. It captures the original. It does a nice print that uses the actual character. This is fine as it stands for it. I don't have any blaring issues with it. It's the character itself. That is the super, and you really can't dress it up any harder than that. That it ruins what made the original super so good.
Yeah, honestly, the only big deterrent on this one is the voice acting, but we've kind of talked over that. I think it does a pretty good job of, like you said, capturing the super that he just had in, Vampire Savior and just transferring it over.
In the chat mentioning, it's what's with the purple goo. Obviously, they can't do a game with blood all over, based on ratings and whatnot.
So here's the thing about that. Here's the argument that I'll make that they could have done, that we know they've done this before, because they basically had an entire character that had a glowing effect on, like a liquid glowing effect on them in Street Fighter 4 with Hakan, right? In Vampire Savior, there's obviously a ton of attacks that they can't really get away with because they're pretty gory, right? And that was 2D sprites that were animated pretty quickly, or they animate pretty quickly, so you don't get to see the full effect. Like Jetta's medium punch being him slicing part of his hand on his wing, and then splatting the blood on you, or his armpit just kind of falling apart and having all these blood tendrils that are his different hands coming at you really quickly in rapid succession. Him slicing his head off
Yeah.
for his guard cancel, like this is all stuff that's not going to get through, right? But if you just look at the character on its own, unless you're examining that in very, very high intensity and looking at frame by frame what he's doing, there's just glowing red thing on him, right? You just have this glowing red that's dripping from him. The one thing that I think they could have gotten away with, that I feel would have made people a bit happier, is you kind of keep this goo effect, but do kind of what they did with Hakan, where you have like the glow over it, and just have it be a pulsing red, which is
So
kind of
like
what
like a glossy energy or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Think about how Zato looks in Exerd Revelator, right? They added an outline to him that glows red. It pulses every so often, and we know he's just supposed to be this shadow, but you have this very easy to read outline that presents a really nice visual. And I feel honestly, if they would have done that for Jetta, like just have the pulsing red and purple dripping from him, you have the idea, it's like, okay, that could be blood, it could be demon goo from the Makai. Either way I feel that would have been a better visual than what we get. But as far as the super itself, I feel it's one of the better ones. The cool Darkstalker's coin sound effect is great. The only thing, honestly, that I feel they could have done a bit better with the super is I honestly feel like it's sped up. Like, if it would have played a little slower.
I don't know. The original one in Darkstalkers was super fast.
Yeah, but look how much better this looks just slightly slowed down. That's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
It just feels like it gets more time for each of the individual hits to simmer.
That's fair. Oh, and on a side note, Dormammu's not really throwing blood. It could be anything because he doesn't have blood. He's just a fucking fire guy. So, I mean, that's probably how they're getting away with that one.
Yeah. He's throwing dark at you.
Yeah, he's throwing dark at you. That's good.
Yeah.
This is also another
Oh,
one.
okay. That's your point. Okay.
This is also another one where at the end, he's just standing there without his mouth moving.
Look, man, he's a demon, all right? Like, when you're a demon
Right.
lord, you don't have to move your mouth to talk.
All right. Well, you're right. You're right.
All right, let's go
Have no other
to
choice.
X.
Power levels rising. Ultimate strike.
I hate the voice. I
Eh.
really do.
And Mega Man X is never going to have a good voice actor. Actually, I never played the Command Mission games. I don't know if he has any voiceover there. But from all the other games, he usually has a whack voice actor. I'm okay with it. It's just kind of whatever. I honestly feel like I don't get what they were going for with X, because he gets light armor install, right? But that's X1. But then the level 3 super is the X4 armor? Like, it's the Giga armor you get in X4? So I feel like they could have done more with the character. Like, there's any number of things they could have done. They could have done with X, right? You could have had him pull out a right armor. You could have had him go through multiple armors. Like,
Yeah, that would have been cool.
yeah. Instead, we kind of get this like combination of Nova and Thor supers, where he just tackles you and then beams the shit out of you. It just feels like X, with having so many things you could do, we kind of just got something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to like. I don't care. It's just whatever. It's a super.
Now
Like,
that one,
that's it. Like,
yeah.
that's it.
There's nothing really intense about that one or interesting.
It just feels like it does a lot of the same that a lot of other people do.
Yeah, which is how I mentioned. Like, it just looks like, he tackles you like Nova does, and then you get beamed up like Thor zaps you.
Yeah.
I really would have liked, like, a right armor or him going through multiple armors. Or even for a moment, like, stealing their power.
A very big charge shot.
Hey, you know what?
Very big. Like you think big, and then like a little bit more.
Okay. So you say that. You say that, right?
Yeah.
But imagine how sick it would have been if you get him to just, like, charge the shot, and then in a very Dragon Ball-esque fashion, while he's charging and kind of like having this internal monologue, spooky robot ghost Dr. Light shows up behind his shoulder and, tells him, X, I believe in you, or some shit,
Oh, that would be sick, actually. I'd be down for that.
Or fucking, like, he just starts charging the big shot, and, you have Dr. Light show up behind him as, you must recover all the energy immediately, recommend. Like, how sick would that have been?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you get the 1 in, like, 100 voice line where it's the shitty Dr. Light voice actor. Like, that would have been sick as fuck.
That would have been worth recreating.
Yeah.
And they could have the fucking terrible, like, the theme song from the terrible cartoon playing in the background.
Yeah. Just the super fighting robot just going.
Super fighting robot.
Dude,
Command.
even X in that.
Just have that fucking clip of D1 screaming super fighting robot.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up.
I've got your powers.
Just decks the shit out of him.
Oh god, yeah. No, this one's just whatever. Like,
Okay, yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. Oh crap, what did I do?
That's all right. It's all right.
Oh, there we go.
oh, I was looking at that freaking still on your screen.
Yeah, that
I
freeze
like,
frame
what's
was
this
something,
light?
right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's her fucking shoulder.
Yeah.
block.
That feel good.
That one's alright.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm still trying to get used to the voice actor, but that's all right.
Yeah, the final smash in Smash for Mega Man is
Oh,
actually mad sick.
where you get all the Mega Mans?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that would have been dope as hell.
Like, you get EXE, you get old Mega Man, you get all of them. Like, actually, you know what? They could have gotten away with that by having them, like, get all the, like, the supporting cast from the X series to show up. Like, if he had Axel,
Yeah.
Cygnus, all this other shit just fucking show up in the background, like, and then just fire one shot with them. That would have been kind of neat.
Mhm.
Well, let's get to Nemesis. Oh no, X. They got you.
Yeah. I mean,
It's fine. It's
They wanted
it's the
to
third one.
give him a mechanic, and they made him an ulti for it.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what he had in, like,
Yeah, it's what he had in 3.
yeah, you just never saw
I
it
don't
because it
think-
sucked.
Yeah. Well, he
I think-
sucked. I mean,
Well, yeah, but that dude, anytime you make a super command grab that you can jump after the flash, you're bad. Just quit. Unless it actually outright kills you. But the one problem I had with this one is I think it's paced pretty well. Like, you get the unique camera angle. It's obviously something different. But I don't like how the payoff comes out where you get, like, the goop on the screen. I wish, like, the goop would just, like, slide off slowly and then return to the screen, because as it stands, the transition between you being inside Nemesis's gut and not just feels underwhelming. Like, watch. You're getting chewed up, you get spat out, and it's just like, what? One it's just instantly transitions. Look, it's there and then it's not. It's not like it's slowly fading away.
yeah, if it wiped the block or something like that, and then
Well,
went
they
out or
could
something like
just
that.
make it to where, like, the goop slightly becomes more transparent, or you can kind of watch it, like, slide off the screen. Because right now it's just going one frame to none. Like,
Didn't the last game have like a screen tearing effect or something like that when it went to reset back to the original screen?
That is a fantastic point because I don't actually remember. That super sucks so bad. We never saw it.
Yeah.
Let me actually go look.
But
it
I mean,
up.
like in general, I'm just trying to remember.
Let's see. Also, thanks to this, I figured out how to look up all the supers. Yeah, it does the comic book tearing effect that MVC3 did for a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that general
Oh,
transition,
actually,
that transition in general helps everything.
Yeah, the transition's great. It just feels like it's not part of the visual style they went for in this. Like the whole idea that it's a comic book is really, really evident in 3. That's just missing from this game. Something that's actually also missing from the 1 and 3 is the transition is also pretty quick in 3, right? Between the spit out and going back to normal. Let's actually watch it real quick because you'll immediately see what I mean when I say that something is missing. And like I said, I'll admit this is one of the supers that I watched the least because, you know, who played Nemesis and then who landed the level 3. So there's a bit more of a build-up in this one. But boom, did you see it?
Oh yeah, it was like a fraction of a second.
Yeah, there's a fraction of a second, but there's the impact of like an actual impact frame. Like you get that idea that you're being spat out and you hit something right there. Like I didn't notice that. I never knew that existed. It actually makes that super so much cooler. Then you get the goop, and then you get the transition. Yeah. And they hit it really well because they did the transition that they did as part of the game's overall visuals with, you know, the comic book pages being torn away. But as it stands, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Oh, why is it still playing slowly? So I actually like this game's take on Shinsho. Both of those versions are pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it just like it just randomly switches, or
I don't.
I think he might have an install.
Well, he probably still has Denjin mode. So let's take a look. Actually,
maybe is it a health thing?
Let's see. That's the regular one.
He's significantly lower on health. Maybe it could be a general thing where he just gets a thing later on, like if he drops under 10% health, he goes.
Yeah, it sounds like you're right. Oh, Love Heart's confirming it in the chat. 20% or less. Cool. Ryu has Hellfire mode. That's actually a really neat scene. Like the fact that there's the whole story being told, like where you get the whole idea, like, you know, Sagat having the scar on his chest is all of, you know, Ryu giving into his urge to win, that he basically just fucking almost kills Sagat.
Yeah.
Because, you know, somebody took him to like the brink of defeat, and he does, you know, tap into his evil powers and scars Sagat permanently. So we get that in this game where, you know, if he's about to lose, you get the cool, you know, Satsuno Hado fucking Shin Shoryuken where he suppresses it at the last second and, you know, it becomes good guy Ryu again. That's neat. I like that one a lot. Both those Shin shows are actually pretty good. Let's go to the next one.
Get ready for this! Hey, you awake? Here you go! Have fun with that!
Okay. All right.
I think it's stupid but funny. And I like it to a certain degree. It's got problems, but it tells a pretty good story.
But it's like, but why? Why isn't it?
I
This
think
is a man with a giant robot arm. He has a giant robot arm. Listen, if people know things about him, is I love robot limbs because robot limbs are the future, and I'm gonna be able to punch through walls. It's gonna be sick. I can't wait.
But his supers already do that. Like, do something
okay,
else.
fine. Fucking do a little combination of a punch and then fucking grapple around or some shit. None of that is shown.
So
The fact that
literally
he
the
has-
same thing everybody else does in this fucking game.
Literally, but the thing is that, like, literally, the thing about this character is that he has a bionic fucking arm, and none of that is shown in the super.
It
literally
shows
doesn't
when he
matter.
escapes. That's the whole point of the fucking bionic arm is movement. It's not to fucking use it as a weapon.
So, for a character that punches you with the bionic arm, he headbutts you.
Yeah.
Headbutts you.
He also doesn't grab you.
Yeah, he does. Right there.
So, I really fucking hate this one. Like, they could have done so much. Like, he could have just had, like, you know, fake Hitler standing behind the enemy for a moment, and then he punches them so hard in order to, like, you know, just deck Hitler into outer space that, you know, collateral damage. But instead, we get fucking Spencer over here doing an episode of Jackass.
No.
He just
I honestly
fucking-
think I honestly think it would be better if he had his classic costume. That would
I mean,
probably
well, yeah.
make it a little bit a lot more palatable for
Look.
both of you guys.
It would be. I still wouldn't be the biggest fan of this super, but at least it wouldn't have been POD Spencer. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Because I think the super's fine in its own right. The fact that there has to be like one stupid joke super in the game, and this is the
which should have
closest
been
thing they've
Rocket.
got. Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's double.
And
fair.
instead, it literally feels like, you know, Welcome to Jackass, where it's like, no, yo, he's asleep. We're gonna put a grenade in his butt.
Oh, Love Heart's got a.
Oh,
Oh,
the-
it comes from the game.
Is it?
Yeah, it comes from the
Oh,
final
let's watch
boss.
this.
Let's see you come back from this.
All right. Okay. So
That is way more vicious.
That is
Okay,
dark
so
as
if-
fuck.
I don't need the bomb to be in the mouth. I think that's maybe a little bit extra. But kicking him off a fucking real high up ledge, I would have been down for that.
Where are you gonna get the mystery ledge?
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
thing.
where are you gonna get the mystery cars that show for Shield Super? Fucking who gives a shit?
Okay, all right. That super went up a notch. The fact that it's a pretty neat reference, but I'm still not really big on it. It's again one of those things that I feel, give me a bigger explosion or something like go full Michael Bay on it.
Oh, just a big explosion with him like walking away from it.
Yeah. Well, no, look, like it just ends. It's not like multiple.
Oh
Explosions.
yeah, it doesn't even show him sticking it in her mouth or anything like that.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna go with the bomb in the mouth thing, but
I think that's what they're implying.
yeah, but they're not gonna do it.
They're definitely not gonna. do it.
That's
why I'm
yeah,
okay
that's a
with
little
getting
much.
that.
Yeah, I'll put that one. That super's gone from like a 2 to me. It's now that I know that's a cool reference. So you know they're giving a shit about their history there. I'll bring it up to a 4. But it's still it's a combination, I guess, of the voice acting and the lack of like screen shake again. So we got Stritter, our boy Hiryu. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a nice improvement from the original Ragnarok.
That was it for Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did
That's
the old one hit multiple times, or was it just one big one?
It was.
It was one
hit.
big one.
I'm more of a fan of the one big one.
Mm-hmm. It's also I don't know how to put it. I don't know. The projectile it seems like it's more there. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot easier to...
I never liked this super to begin with.
I
even
thought
in
it was
the old
neat in
game.
3, but I think it's more impactful when you get the sense that it's just one gigantic hit.
They do that for a couple of things in for the level 3 though. Like even Firebrand's
Yeah,
level
yeah, you
3,
get the
like,
multi-hit effect when he's like
yeah,
dragging you
instead
down.
of it could have been just like, because when you see like for Karen's super in Street Fighter 5, one of the cool things about it, and one of the more reasons why it's my favorite super in the entire game, is because the last hit, like the first 3 hits do very minimal damage, but the last hit does a fuck ton. It is a giant chunk. I'm a big fan of that. And I think that like when you space out the hits and the damage over the whole level 3, it kind of loses a little bit of the impact. Like what if the rock bottom did like 50% of your health? That'd be
Yeah.
sick as hell.
That's actually a really good complaint because for the longest time, people bugged out about Street Fighter 4 Guile's Somersault Justice because the last hit has all this impact to it, right?
Right.
But whenever you comboed into it, it did the least amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually, in one of the later games, I actually want to say it's AE, they rearranged how the damage gets shifted. So I think it still ends up doing the same damage, but more of it comes from the last hit, from the last cinematic.
Yeah.
So there's more of a satisfactory effect to that last hit. And this wave being multiple hits just feels kind of cheesy. Like there's not the feeling that you're just being cut in half by raw energy.
Yeah, it just chunked you. It was one big giant chunk that you like. You would have what, like 33% health left or something like that. There was a minimum scaling that was in for the level 3 supers in Marvel 3, and then you just lost all of that. Just
Yeah.
you're dead.
The
That
only
was,
the one
was-
thing I'm thinking of is I almost feel like they made it multiple hits to fit into the system mechanics where they probably want you to just tag off of it into the next character, and the fact that it's multiple hits means they stay up there longer. So instead of doing something where they just made increased hit stun on it, they just made it to where like, oh, it's ticking 5 times and now your Ultron or whatever the fuck gets to come in and do what they want.
you could also just give them more hits done and do that fucking spinny flippy thing that everybody does.
Yeah, I would have been a big fan of the spinny flip thing.
Yeah, no, I am. This is like why I started complaining about like the Spencer 3. I like big giant like one hit moves. Or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
dude.
that.
How many people hold very close to their hearts supers like Dead on Time or Bionic Arm?
Yeah, Dead on. We talk about Dead on Time all the time. You don't even play Slayer all that much anymore. And every like week or so, we were just talking about, man, remember when we used to counter hit Dead on Time and the screen used to shake so violently?
Yeah.
It, like let you know through screen shake alone that you've messed up so badly. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, Bionic Arm is like from the same genre of like, look at this super that was so hype. It was like, it was almost put up on a pedestal after Combo Fiend just like started running through people with it, right?
Mhm.
Like he would do random Bionic Arm or try to read something Bionic Arm and hit someone out of it. That's hype as fuck. I love that shit. That shit's great. Just punch someone really hard and have them lose 25% of their health. I'm
Yeah.
down for that.
I'm a big fan of just gigantic single hit damage.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he still have have it in this game?
He probably
he
still
does.
has Bionic
He does.
Arm. I'm just
I
talking
actually,
about it as
I
in
think
general.
Bionic Arm in this game also does the multi-hit thing again.
Oh god, if it does, I will be so disappointed. There's no for that move specifically. Come on, that'd break my heart, honestly.
I'm more than certain it does.
Mm.
I won't waste the time to go hunt for it, but I'm pretty sure if you go look at any like Spencer footage from MVCI, it's a 4 or 5 hit super now.
Hmm.
I honestly, thinking about all of these, I want to say like Jetta's is good.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Both Ryu supers are good.
Firebrand.
Firebrand's, yeah,
Despite the clipping.
despite the clipping. Hagar's is really close to being good. Like it just needs the repeated camera shots, or the sparkling eyes, or the red shadows. But those 3 are standouts at being pretty good. Nova's is acceptable, and then all the other ones are just and Frank West because he's just kind of unique. But all the other ones are just kind of ugh. Like the other thing that people pointed out, and I want to agree with this wholeheartedly, is the sound effect for MVC3's supers activating when you did level 3s, that sort of like
Oh, the
kind of
ding.
choral thing. And I was like, ah!
Oh. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Yeah. Like, that's a good effect. The
It's a great
problem I also want to point out for MVCI is that a lot of the sounds are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, not just the voice, but actual some of the sound effects. Like, the blocking sound effect is ass. It's really bad. The first time I heard it, I thought it was the
Oh
unique
my
blocking
God,
sound effect because
yeah.
it was a video that I was watching that had like an X versus Zero mirror match or something like that. So I was like, oh, this is probably the sound that the Reploids make when they block because they're robots, right?
Yeah.
Then it turns out everybody makes that sort of like weird clackety sound, like you're hitting on fucking keyboard keys. It's not a satisfying sound for blocking.
You know why, like, despite me being a babby, I fell in love because hit and block sounds are fucking amazing in that game. That game really makes you feel the impact of the moves that get hit and or even blocked. I love how that game sounds in terms of hit and blocked moves. This is the same thing with CVS2. CVS2 is some of the best sounds for hits and blocks in all of Capcom. And those are two of my favorite games that have ever been made for fighting games. It's the same thing with Gear. Gear used to have this level 5 block stun, or the level 5 blocked move sound. That was like this really hard metallic sound that I dearly miss, because it really told you, like, this move hurts a lot. Don't get hit by it. It specifically told you that this move is like a level 5. You've blocked it and it hurts like hell just because of how it sounds. And there's really nothing like that here. Like, it doesn't really show you the oomph of any one of these moves when they're blocked or hit. Block and hit anime or sounds are some of the things that bring me to fighting games.
I totally agree. The pieces not coming together is kind of what's missing there. Like, screen shake definitely needs to change for Chris's. Like, I think the biggest misses, like almost complete failures in this for getting any kind of emotion out of me, are Ghost Rider and Chris.
Ghost Riders,
which sucks because they're two of my favorite characters.
Yeah, Ghost Riders is egregious, to say the least.
I think the big problem with the game is that it doesn't quite know what it wants to be. With 3, it was a comic book game. Like, out of pages of a comic book, there was a theming, everything made sense, everything was set. 2 was like Battle of Heroes and such, where things came through in kind of a coherent way, but everybody was kind of unique. Oh, obviously, because it was a throw together. But it's like, there's nothing that really makes everything fit together in this game. It just feels like it's bits and pieces that they pulled from other games or other places, and it just never quite comes together. I mean, yeah, it could be MVCU versus Capcom, but there's nothing that really says that. There's nothing that...
I think for like 1 and 2, there wasn't like a huge theme that put it together, sort of like 3 did, right? But 1 and 2, for me, the way that it was put together was through the overall package of the game that surrounded the characters, which was just like, for 1, it was the music, the way that characters were introed, the announcer, was all of that stuff put together a package that was great, and then you inserted the characters into that, right? For 2, it was very similar. A lot of it was the art, the backgrounds, not the backgrounds, the stages are iconic, the music, all of that, like the things that go around the game, and then you have the characters that are on top of that. For me, here, it's all characters.
The presentation thing is something that, we'll probably get into at a different time, but yeah, it's just kind of missing. I'll probably cut the stream here just because I think my mic's starting to fuck up, so I won't really get to talk about the other thing about my ending of my 3S sabbatical. So I actually was supposed to tweet this out months ago about how I was going to just kind of stop playing the game and come back to it with a different point of view.
Mhm.
Just because I feel like it's healthy to do that every now and then. Just
Yeah.
walk away from something and come back and see if your mindset's changed or where you've improved. But meaning that, yeah, my mic is totally fucking up. But
Yeah.
I've only played it like once or twice. I think like at Evo for like a few minutes at a time. But
Yeah.
I got to the length of time that I wanted to wait before I got back to it, which is like the longest I've ever gotten without playing the game. So now I want to make sure that I can relearn the game, and what I wanted to do is do more structured streams like I used to do for character breakdowns or matchup analysis for Third Strike. So I'll probably just make this a Twitter poll or something and just have people decide what the first character they want to see is. I'll do that. I'll make a little lesson plan, find videos that, have good examples of players at high level or intermediate level and just kind of go over what's being done. But I will cut it there. Thank you, Chinnery. Thank you, Sammy Fish. Follow them on Twitter. I'll link them or something. And thanks, Paul, before you died. Thanks to your internet always having scheduled maintenance at exactly this time. Loveheart in the chat. I really appreciate your insight. Thank you for helping us out. A few people that followed. My boy, oh shit, it's James.
Oh shit, it's James.
That's a great name. Oh, he had to change it for Twitch. It's actually changed it to it's James.
Wow.
Yeah.
Clever.
Nate Master Flash, Lil Grease, Alt 0 Star 00, and Soul Swillick. Oh, it's just Soul backwards. I like it. Thank you. Thank you all for following. I'll catch you next time, hopefully with a working mic. Y'all be good.
Take it easy.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.